Mom, happy Mother's Day. Today is Mother's Day.
Yes, it is. And thank you, Robert. I appreciate you making me a mother.
That doesn't sound right at all.
Well, without you and Brandon, I wouldn't be a mother celebrating Mother's Day today. So thank you for making me a mother on Mother's Day. Don't you dare push stop.
That was, I feel very, I don't know. You took it weird. It's weird now.
How is that weird? One of the greatest joys that I have in my life is being a mom.
Mm-hmm. I would like to say, and Brandon and I don't want to speak for Brandon, but I'm a pretty cool kid.
I think you are.
Yeah. Brandon's pretty cool too, I guess.
Yeah. You know what? On the level of like lucky mom, I think I'm right up there in the winner circle.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a lot like Rocky. I'm like, dun, 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 dun. I have cool kids.
So
I don't know.
A lot to unpack with all of those. That was the world's worst reference. Rocky is not a horse. He's not in a winner's circle. And that wasn't like his theme song.
I know, but the thing is I don't know how I ended up with such cool kids because I am so not cool.
You're cool in your own dorky way.
Yeah.
You're cool like like those TikToks where it's like, show me a subtle flex that only like a certain few people. You were like that kind of. You operate in that kind of circle of cool.
Yeah, you know what's really funny is I just thought of this, but Barbu always used to swear up and down she was an alien from a different world.
Checks out.
Because she had like what I just did would have been something that Barbu would have done. And for reference, Barbu is my mom.
Yes.
So it's funny because it's like I used to be like, oh, cringe mom. And now I'm the one who was all like, look at me, I'm an alien from another world.
Yep. So it's hereditary. Yeah.
So sooner or later, you're going to reference yourself as an alien from another world.
No,
I'm just saying.
I don't think I'm going to take over the same characteristics as the females in the family, but it's nice to know that is looming over me.
Well, I don't think that gender has anything to do.
I think if anybody's going to be the alien, it's Brandon, because you and Brandon are so cut and paste.
Yeah.
Whereas I think obviously you and I are similarities, but I think you and Brandon are more similar.
Yeah.
So if anybody's going to be the weird oddball alien from another planet, it's Brandon.
Yeah, and you know what, and truthfully, I mean, just going for like a real serious moment here, I think one of the things that for our relationship, one of the best things that I have done in a very long time is realizing that you are a different person and that you respond to things differently than I do, but that doesn't make it wrong. Mm-hmm. So no, I'm just saying, it's like I have learned to appreciate your oddness. Because you know what, if you're not like me, you're weird. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Which is probably why you and Brandon get along so well. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of reasons why I'm so empathetic to like his situations sometimes is because they remind me so much of me, through life.
That's fair. Mm-hmm. Okay. So moving on from that.
Yes.
This is your week to share.
It is.
You have prepared, you've researched, you are ready. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your topic?
Yes. Now, going into my topic is I want to tell you what I originally was going to talk about and why I switched it.
Okay.
But originally what I was going to go in honor of Mother's Day being today, I was going to talk about like ways to get over losing people you love.
Sure.
All right.
You mean like coping with loss.
Coping with loss, not getting over.
That's
I don't know why I said that, but coping with it, basically dealing with it. But I found that I was sad, I talked about it Friday on my live and it's just a sad thing. I mean, I'm sad that I don't have a mom with me physically anymore. So then I started thinking, I'm like, well, Lonnie, what would Barbu want? What would your mom want you to be? And she wouldn't want me to be sad. Yeah. She would truthfully, in all honesty, she would want me to be happy. So I'm going to switch my subject from coping with the loss of a loved ones with how you can be happy. I'm switching out that subject.
Okay, so we're not talking about loss at all.
No.
Okay.
I mean, we are in a very weird way because when I was researching my coping with the loss of your loved one, I came up with a thought that I had never come up with before. And that thought is that each time you lose somebody close to you, near and dear to you, it's almost like you're almost reborn into a different version of yourself.
Sure.
Okay, so like when Auntie Vicky died, I had to learn how to be brave on my own. You know, when Papa died, I had to learn how to be a caregiver to Barbu. When Barbu passed away, I had to learn how to be completely, you know,
By yourself.
By myself.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden I took on the lead role of the matriarch of the family.
Sure.
So each time somebody has passed away, I've had to learn how to be a new version of me. So if you're out there and you have lost somebody who you love, this is my subject of how you can find happiness in the new version of you.
Okay. That's
Okay.
fair. Okay.
Do
That's a
you
good backstory. I understand. I can connect the dots as to what led you from there to here. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, truthfully, in all honesty, and I was even thinking about this when we were walking Indy. I find that sometimes I have a tendency to talk a lot about negative things, and because I've had a lot of negative things impact my life, but I also too have had a lot of good things. So I want to start balancing those subjects a little bit more,
Okay.
so I can explore a little bit of the better parts of my life.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're doing is we super easy Google search. I Googled how to be happy.
Sure.
Because sometimes we don't know the fundamentals of being happy. All right. So it says, you know, tips on how to be happy. And the first one is manage your stress levels. Because a lot of times I think stress is going to be the robber of your positive energy. So if you're out there and you feel overwhelmed and you're super stressed, it's my suggestion to sit down and basically, you know, write down everything that you do during your day and find out what are the key moments during that day that are causing you the most stress.
What, like work or like financial troubles or?
Whatever it could be. It
Okay.
could be like, you know, okay, sat down, ate breakfast. How do I feel now while I'm eating breakfast? Well, you know what? I'm busy. You know, I'm late for work. I'm eating really fast. And that could be an indicator that maybe you need to wake up 15 minutes earlier. So that way you can eat breakfast a little bit in a better mindset.
Okay.
You know, something like that. Because I think that stress kind of like sneaks in our psyche throughout the day so much that we don't actually cognitively aware of what's stressing us out. I mean, we could say like super easy ones like money, relationships, you know, things like that. But I think it's the little day-to-day, daily tasks of stress that sneak in and rob us of our happiness.
Okay. Do you have an example of something that would stress you out, like day to day?
Yeah, you know what, truthfully, a lot of the times I get totally stressed out on time management.
Okay.
I mean, that is because I have such visions of, I wouldn't say grandeur, but so many ideas and so many things I want to do that it almost stresses me out to the point where I don't start any of them.
Sure.
So for me, my daily struggle is coming up with a balance that works for all aspects of my life.
Okay.
You know, and things like that. So I'm trying to incorporate things a little bit more, cut back on other ones. The huge stress that was in my life was when I worked in escrow, you know, alleviating that. You would think like, you'd be like, oh, well, you're stress free now. No, I kind of changed one stress for the other, but one is more manageable.
Okay.
Okay. The next one is enjoy yourself.
Okay.
Just do little things that you like. So, you know, you kind of, again, this is like a journey of like looking inward, but just find things you like. I mean, for me, I like to shop. I find happiness when I shop. It reminds me of my mom when I shop. So whether I walk out with one thing or nothing, just actually getting in the car, driving to the store, looking around, seeing what's pretty, coming up with ideas makes me happy.
Sure.
You know, and I find that there's a different level of my happiness. Like if I go weeks without, you know, really venturing out and leaving the house, I find that I get a little bit more stifled.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wow, that was so fun. I'm all full of energy, you know, let's go.
Yeah.
So find what makes you happy, you know,
Okay.
super, super easy stuff like that. The next one says, boost your self-esteem. Self-esteem is the way that you feel about yourself. The best way to improve your self-esteem is to treat yourself as if you would treat yourself the way you would treat your most valued friend.
Okay.
So it's like looking at your inner voice. You know, if you're out there and you're stressed out and you're not doing things that you're enjoying, make sure that your inner voice isn't telling you things like, well, dum you're not good enough to do that, or you don't deserve this, or do something like that. It says, notice when you're putting yourself down, such as thinking you are so stupid for not getting that job. Instead, think, would I say that to my best friend? You probably wouldn't. Something like that.
Okay.
So if you're struggling with happiness, make sure that you stop and listen to what your inner voices are saying.
Okay.
Again, your inner voices are going to be, they're going to rob you. They're going to rob you of a lot of happiness, a lot of energy, a lot of everything if your inner voices are not positive.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions so far?
Yeah. So like when you're saying like do that kind of stuff, like have you ever found an instance where, because I know you've been like mentioning that like you want to start like hiking and doing more outside stuff. Like how would you initiate that kind of thing? Like if you're is that last topic, like how would you, is it again more time management? Is it like more like setting just time for yourself, or?
A lot of it's time management. And I mean, now I'm doing my morning shows. So it's like, well, I can't, ideally hiking in the mornings, Monday through Thursdays out.
Yeah.
Saturdays are basically we usually record podcasts on Saturdays, and I do like a lot of like behind the scenes kind of stuff. Sundays are usually our relaxing day. So again, that's time management, but also truthfully, if I'm going to be completely honest, I have to figure out, is it time management or is that my excuse to not doing it?
Yeah.
That's always the burning question of, which one is it, Lonnie?
Because I think it's the latter. I think if like you really wanted to do, you could make time.
If I really wanted it to, I'd strap a GoPro on my chest and I'd be like, I'm working, and I could justify doing it.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, there's something in my psyche blocking it right at the moment. And whatever it is, I'll either break it down or, climb over the top of it.
Okay. Yeah.
So to me, it's like sometimes I get very hunkered down, and I know when I am, it's when I don't leave the house and I become very almost lethargic.
Sure.
So, and it's just, again, a matter of self-reflecting and looking inside and finding out what the key is to your happiness. Okay. What is it? Which one of these suggestions are you doing or not doing? So yeah, talk to yourself in the way that you would talk to your most loved, be as kind to yourself as you would the person that you love the most.
Sure.
All right. The next one is have a healthy lifestyle. I think that having a healthy lifestyle, is a very good mental boost to yourself.
Okay.
To me, it's like no matter what it is, whatever your version of a healthy lifestyle is, whether it's working out, eating right, not drinking, not smoking, whatever that version in your mind that is a healthy lifestyle, if you live that version, you're telling yourself that you deserve that you deserve to live that healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
So, I mean, like for me, it's like, we get up at 4:00 in the morning, we go to the gym, I walk the dog, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm a vegetarian. And for me, that's my version. But I will tell you right now, here's the full disclaimer. It's like, I always struggle at 5:00. I start snacking like no other.
Yeah.
All right. And I have gotten to the point where it's almost like a manic compulsion. And it's going all the way back to my drinking days because I used to start drinking at 5:00. So today when we were cleaning, I realized that I am just 100% replacing one thing with something else.
Okay.
I'm replacing alcohol with snacks. So I'm going to have to live a healthy lifestyle. I have to acknowledge it, and I'm going to start doing something about it.
Now, if we're talking about like improving your lifestyle, would you think more of a meal plan management? Because when it comes to like eating, you're very scarce. There'd be some days where you're like, oh, I haven't eaten yet, and it's 3. Or there's some days where like, oh, I'm going to have this. And then would it be better if you like actually, I don't want to say meal prep because we say the word meal prep like 90 times in a week and we never do it. But would it be better to have more of a balanced diet?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the reasons why I reactivated my, it's called a calorie counter, but it has so many more benefits than that. And one of the things is that like if I skip a breakfast, it will say like, yo, you skipped a breakfast. That's not not okay.
Okay. So it seems like you need more accountability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's sad because I need more accountability because I'm not giving myself enough credit and enough love to do it on my own.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah,
You know?
you don't.
I don't value
You're not
myself.
showing up for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of being happy. I mean, if I mentally cannot tell myself that I deserve that happiness, and part of that happiness is taking care of myself,
Yeah.
and part of taking care of myself is eating right. It all compiles into this big ball of, happiness.
Sure. Especially too, because like you said, you mentioned, you skipped one addiction for another, like that, the sugar from the snacks at the moment sure might taste good and sure might be like good. But then like you start, like you mentioned, you start gaining a little bit more weight and then you start feeling worse.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you right now, and this just dawned on me, Robert, and it just literally dawned on me, but I'm like, why is 5 o'clock so important other than when I started drinking? But that's when, Papa would come home and, and the stress level would go up.
Sure.
And I think that I'm still mentally,
interesting.
Yeah, I think I'm still struggling with that mental kind of like
anxiousness.
Yeah. Like anxiousness that things are going to start getting a little bit more volatile.
Sure.
And I'm associating it with that.
That's completely understandable.
Yeah. And I'm almost 59 years old and I had never put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. Super interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's really weird. And it's part of my journey is that I'm finding that a lot of my habits as an adult are triggering from when I was a child.
Yeah.
And for me, it's super easy to see that now. And now at 5 o'clock, instead of going in and trying to have a snack or something, or, just like feeling like this like level of discomfort, I can just tell myself it's okay.
Yeah.
You know what? You're the driver of this car. It is okay.
Sure.
So interesting thought. It's so amazing how just like coming up with a subject makes me go deep inside, and I'm like, oh, there you are, you little sneaky thought that I didn't know was in my mind. All right. The next thing it says is do some exercise. Again, I think that all goes along with the whole like, self-talk, valuing yourself. And exercise can be anything from walking around the block to, training for a marathon. It's whatever amount of exercise that you deem as what you need is just giving yourself that gift of doing it.
Okay.
And it's super important. It also says get enough sleep. A lot of times, unless you actually struggle with sleep, issues, deprivations, insomnia, or anything like that, it's a gift that we need to give ourselves. We need to know that getting a good night's sleep just helps your body regenerate. And again, it's all about taking good care of yourself on the inside and out. Again, will help you with your happiness.
Okay.
All right. It says talk and share. Communication is important, whether it is with a friend, family member, or a counselor. Talking things through helps you release tension rather than keeping it inside. It helps strengthen your relationships and connect with people. Lots of people find talking to a counselor about things that are troubling them very helpful. So, and here's another thing that I have learned, Robert, is that yes, talking is extremely important, but it's not your burden. You were not put on this.
Well, there's a difference between talking and sharing and then like dumping.
Yes.
Like conversation dumping. So there's a complete difference.
Yes. And I 100% am 100% guilty of conversation dumping on you for years. Yeah. And then me being like, well, he's not very talkative. I don't know what's wrong with him, And it's taken me going to the counselor and basically seeing my version of me, how, I don't know, I'll be completely honest. I always painted you as the villain, and then when you're like, no matter what you would say, if you tried to express your thoughts, I was turning you into the villain.
Yep.
And so I see that and I apologize immensely for that. And part of my happiness is finding that out and unraveling that knot in my head and finding the happiness within myself.
Yeah.
I can conversate. I talk 5 days a week on my channel, and I talk openly and I communicate, and it's really nice, or I could go to a counselor. So yeah, no, I just wanted to apologize for that. That's something that in my journey, I have seen what I have done. And while I cannot undo it, I can apologize for the past and just improve in the future.
Yeah.
So it says, build your resilience. Resilience is what allows you to cope with life's ups and downs. Making something worthwhile out of painful times helps your resilience grow. Starting a support group to help others, or making something creative out of a bad experience by others. For example, writing, painting, or singing can help you express pain and get through hard times.
Okay.
So, and that's one of the things I think, like my social media platform has helped me immensely in so many different, in ways that I never even thought.
Yeah. Like in terms of what, like gaining confidence or what?
Gaining confidence, healing, just finding out who I am. I mean, because I'm constantly telling people to push the boundaries of self-confidence, of style, of this and that. And I'm the type of person who, if I say something to others, I feel like I need to listen to my own advice.
Yeah.
So like even finding the subject for talking today has led me to my own inner self journey of finding things of where I can improve, find more happiness, you know, become more of I look at it as becoming more of a fulfilled person.
Okay.
You know, whereas in the past, even when I was sober, I felt kind of like transparent, kind of like thin.
Okay.
You know,
it seems more like you just didn't know the kind of person you wanted to be, or.
It was like, you know, and it's the last couple of days have been really very interesting for me, because I did figure out that with the passing of each person that I love, I became a new version of me. And I felt like I was still trying to be the old version of me.
Makes sense.
And so, you know, instead of embracing who I am now, I was like, nope, this is, you know, I was still trying to be the person who I was when they were alive. And
as to why, like as to like carry on the memory, or as to like
scared.
Yeah.
You know, to me, I remember telling Dante all the time, my biggest fear was the fear of being alone, you know, and it was because I didn't have the inner strength to be alone. Yeah. And that was one of the reasons why I picked a lot of crummy boyfriends, is because I had that immense fear of being alone.
Sure.
And it wasn't until I found, you know, through my healing journey that it's perfectly okay to be alone, that I became stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of it was just denial. I didn't want to be in a world without Auntie Vicky, you know. I didn't, you know, it was a lot of responsibility when Papa passed away, because I was in the depths of addiction, you know. Yeah. And so it seemed like every time something like that happened, my addiction just got a better hold on me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just, you know, and that's just the whole thing. It's like scrapping your way back to happiness. And sometimes you need to fight for things that you want. And for me, I fought for my sobriety, and I'm going to fight for my happiness. Yeah. You know, and I'm going to protect both of them. And you know what? And by doing that, I have to apologize for the things, like I said, that I've done in the past. Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can do, is just help to grow to be a better person for tomorrow. You know?
Yeah. 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 So again, I wanted to take that subject of, you know, missing your loved ones and trying to help you maybe just find a path to your new you, your new version of you, and finding some happiness in that new version.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Do you have any suggestions? Or I mean, did anything resonate in you, like of what, you know?
Well, it seems like, I mean, you know, like obviously with coping with loss, right? You're in a devastated state, and all of the things that you suggested in this article is all things to help you mentally kind of crawl back from that devastation. And it's all about self-improvement. Yeah. You know, really, I mean, that's what every topic basically hinted at was, you know, how to improve yourself than the person that you were yesterday, you know, whether it be, you know, getting an active diet or exercising, or, you know, expressing how you feel and not bottling things up. You know, it all makes sense to help better and improve yourself as a person. So, you know, that's I think that's ultimately the biggest thing. 'Cause when you suffer loss, you're shaken down to the core, and this is all about rebuilding yourself back up. Yeah. Yeah. It was nice.
Thank you. Yeah, because it's just, and you know, again, when we were on the walk, it's like, I know for a fact that neither Papa Barbu or Auntie Vicky would want us to live in a world full of sadness or full of addiction
or resonating on the past. you know?
Yes. While it's so, and I even mentioned this on Friday, they are such an active part of our daily lives that sometimes the only thing that's missing is their physical form.
Sure.
Because they are just as alive in our minds and our hearts and our bodies as they were when they were here.
Yeah.
So, I have to remember that and just, keep a happy thought and go forward.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ask.
If you're asking if I have
Nope.
a topic for next week, I already do.
Oh, well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. And you're going to surprise us because,
Actually, it's going to require your participation.
Oh, wow.
So I'll go ahead and tell it because there's a little bit of homework that needs to be done.
Okay.
So my topic for next week will be discussing each person's individual love language.
Oh, okay.
And there's actually a little questionnaire or a little Quizlet you do online, and it actually tells you your love language.
Okay.
And it's obviously it's centered around relationships, but it's also how the love you express for your family members and such. And so I'll send you the link, and if you could do it, I would like to dissect how your love language might be different than mine and vice versa.
Okay.
How the actions and things you do could represent you expressing your love to me, and I may not interpret it because my love language is different. And whereas vice versa, I might be doing something, in terms of me expressing my gratitude or love that you may not
Even
understand.
Yeah. Or it could go right over my head
Exactly.
and I don't even know that you're doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. So instead of being like, oh, well, this guy, he doesn't accept my love language or he doesn't resonate on my level of love language, it may not mean that he doesn't love me. It just means that he just expresses his feelings differently.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
I really like that.
So we'll talk about that next week.
Awesome. And yeah, and you know what? And I appreciate you so much. You took your time this morning to help me with the camera. And, to me, that was like, to me, I knew that, and I can't answer and say that that's your love language.
No, that is. I've taken the test before. My love language is acts of kindness or acts of service.
Yeah, and you did it, and you didn't begrudge it or be like, oh, I can't believe I'm having to take my time. And I acknowledge that. And it was really kind of cool because I felt like I had grown a little bit. But yeah, mine's going to be all like, keep baking him cookies and trying to make him eat and tucking him in. And
well, it might be different than what you expect,
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's very true. I'm going to tell you right now, my left leg fell asleep, so I'm going to fall off the stool when we're done.
Well, do you want to tell them where to find us so you can get your leg back up?
Yes. You can find Robert on Instagram as Robert Pike. He is on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch as Sherbert. Do you have any other platforms?
Nope.
Okay. And then you can find me as Gray Hair and Tattoo across the board, and my little emotional baggage, which is on my list of things I have to do. I have to do a new video for that one. And really quick, I know yesterday was Mother's Day, but happy Mother's Day to everybody and to all the fur moms out there. I love you dearly, and we will see you next week.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye.